Mining Geometry 2010 higher level. A couple of you have said you're having trouble with mining geometry, so I decided to do up this video to try and help you through it. It is a very easy question, but you must understand the terminology and you must have a good understanding of skew lines. On the map, D, E and F are outcrop points on the top surface of a stratum of ore. The line from E to G is a strike line for the stratum and has been constructed as shown. Okay, I've left out G because I want you to understand how it is got. Determine the dip of the stratum. A vertical borehole at F reveals a vertical depth of stratum of 25 meters. Determine the actual thickness of the stratum. I'm going to go over the terminology now so you have some idea what we are talking about. The outcrop is the part that comes out of the ground. You have your head wall here, you have your stratum of ore. So an example here would be gold, and then you have your footwall, which is here. So that's the top of your layer, that's the bottom of your layer, and there's your stratum. The outcrop is the part that comes out of the ground. Here we have the outcrop coming out of the ground, and if you think of this green part here as the ground, so you can think of it as grass, and that's the layer when it comes out of the ground. You're given 3 points then on the outcrop, and you work on from there. So if we come back to the question here, if you get a highlighter and highlight the important part. D, E and F are outcrop points. So the 3 of those are outcrop points. And they're on the top surface of a stratum of ore. So they're on the top surface. The line from E to G is the strike line. We have to get that yet. Determine the dip. So if we look back at our question, we know that E is at a height of 65. This is a plan here we're looking at. F is at a height of 80 and D is at a height of 55. So what we need to do is find the true length to get this here, the outcrop, as an edge view. If you take this as a triangle, we want to see that triangle there as an edge view. To see that as an edge view, we need a true length. So what we need to do is find a point along here that corresponds with E. So E is 65, we're going to have to find a point over here that's also 65. What is the difference between 55 and 80? It is 25. So if I divide DF here into 5s, we're going to find our 65 line. We have it here. We measure out 5 equal spaces on this line. This line can be at any angle at all. It's just basic division of lines. You join that back to F here. Join back our other points there, and that's dividing our line DF up into 5 equal parts. So we count from here. That's 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, and then 80. We have our 65, which is here. So if I join my line E out through that point there and continue that on, that is going to give me my strike. So I joined from here out through this point here, and that's giving me my strike. If I look along this line here, I'm going to get the edge view of EFD. My XY line is set up perpendicular. We carry out D and we carry out F. The height of F is 80, the height of E is 65, and the height of D is 55. So we step off those measurements, and that's going to give us the edge view of EFD. The dip is the angle this makes with the horizontal plane. So if I bring a line parallel to my XY line, this is going to give me my dip angle, which is this angle here. A vertical borehole at F reveals a vertical depth of stratum of 25 meters. Determine the actual thickness of the stratum. So this is our plan we're looking at. So if you can imagine, we're looking straight down on top of F and we're drilling a hole down on top of that. Where are we going to see that? There is a true length. We're going to see it in this auxiliary here because we're looking in at this direction here. So what we can do is we can measure down a distance at 25 millimeters from our top surface of the stratum of ore. So measure down 25 millimeters. The bottom of our stratum is going to be parallel to the top, and that's going to give us our thickness. So we have our dip got, we have our thickness got, and that is the question complete.